T plus R sounds like an almost ch sound. When the T is followed by an R sound, the T changes and becomes an almost ch sound. Instead of saying trouble, we say trouble. Instead of saying true, we say true. To create this sound correctly, say ch as in chain, but just make the tip of the tongue a bit more tense when it touches the gum ridge and focus on creating a stop of air. Ch, ch, ch. Words for practice for T plus R.
Travel. Turkey.
Tradition. Introduce.
Translate. Interest.
Traffic. Extremely.
Turn. Terrific.
D plus R sounds almost like dr sound. When the D is followed by an R, the D changes and becomes an almost j. Instead of saying drive, we say drive. Instead of dress, we say dress. Words for practice for D plus R.
Drink. Children.
Drop. Address.
Dream. Cathedral.
Drama. 100.
Syndrome. Laundry.
Dialogues for practice for T plus R and D plus R.
Why do you travel by train?
Because the traffic is so dreadful.
What did Sandra tell the attorney?
She told him the truth about the drugs.
Have you traveled to Turkey?
Yes, that country has some interesting traditions.
I told him 100 times not to drink and drive.
I'm sure he'll try to stay out of trouble.
To tell you the truth, I'm drained from all this drama.
D plus U is usually pronounced as j, as in the word joke. Words for practice. Gradual. Schedule. Graduation.
Education. Procedure. Individual.
D plus Y is usually pronounced as j, as in joke. Did you? Would you?
Could you? Should you?
T plus U is usually pronounced as ch, as in church. Actually. Situation. Ritual.
Adventure. Virtual. Fortunate.
Statue. Nature.
Punctual. Picture.
Final T plus Y is usually pronounced as ch, as in church. Don't you? Won't you?
Can't you? Aren't you?
Sentences for practice. Did you go to his graduation?
Would you take our picture?
Why can't you be punctual?
Don't you like nature?
Actually, this is a fortunate situation.
You're adventurous, aren't you?
Why won't you do it gradually?
Can't you change your schedule?
ED endings. The final ED forms the past tense of regular verbs such as needed and worked, and some adjectives such as interested and tired. The ED can cause problems for non-native speakers because it can be pronounced in 3 different ways, as id, d, or t. Here are the 3 rules you need to know. Rule number 1. If the last letter of the word is spelled with a D or a T, the ED is pronounced as a separate syllable, id. Words for practice. Needed. Avoided.
Admitted. Separated.
Attended. Visited.
Decided. Waited.
Rule number 2. If the last letter of the word ends in a voiced consonant or a vowel sound, the E is silent and the D is pronounced as D. Words for practice. Opened. Called.
Changed. Closed.
Earned. Loved.
Pulled. Showed.
Rule number 3. If the last letter of the word ends in a voiceless consonant, the E is silent and the D is pronounced as T. Words for practice. Passed. Washed.
Helped. Watched.
Laughed. Worked.
Stopped. Liked.
Linking ED endings plus a vowel. Linking is connecting the final sound of one word to the first sound of the following word. You will need to learn to link words together to create smooth, natural speech. This is discussed in much greater detail in Chapter 8. Sound like a true native speaker. It's especially important for you to learn to link words with ED endings. The final T and D sounds are much easier to pronounce if they're connected to the vowel that follows it. For example, stayed in sounds like stayed in. Turned on sounds like turned on. Developed a sounds like developed a. Needed a sounds like needed a. Words for practice. Worried about. Looked at. Talked about.
Interested in. Worked on. Liked it.
More linking practice. ED verbs plus the word it. You will first hear a verb in the present tense, then you will hear it in the past tense ED form linked with the word it. Need. I needed it. Paint. I painted it.
Attend. I attended it. Admit. I admitted it.
Cook. I cooked it. Like. I liked it.
Watch. I watched it. Stop. I stopped it.
Use. I used it. Clean. I cleaned it.
Change. I changed it. Love. I loved it.
Conversations for practice for ED verbs. Listen to the following dialogues, which contain questions and answers, but only repeat the answers because those contain the ED verb and the word it. Make sure that you link these two words.
What did you think of the movie?
I liked it a lot.
What did you do with the money?
I deposited it in the bank.
How did you cook the chicken?
I fried it in oil.
Is the heater on?
No, I turned it off.
When did you paint the room?
I painted it last week. Story for practice. Pay attention to the pronunciation of the ED endings. Make sure that you're linking the final ED to the following word if it begins with the vowel sound. Learning English.
As soon as Pablo arrived in the United States from Spain, he decided to work on his English skills. He had studied English in school, but he only remembered a little bit of what he had learned. He wanted to have more confidence when speaking with Americans. He enrolled in a local college that accepted students from all over the world. When he started attending the courses, he realized that he had a long way to go. He was frustrated and confused, and he struggled to understand his classmates. He was surprised that they talked very fast. It seemed impossible to become fluent. One day he stayed after class and asked his teacher for advice. His teacher advised him not to give up and told him that he needed American friends to practice speaking English with. He encouraged him to start a foreign language club. So, he decided to do what the teacher recommended. He invited a lot of his classmates to join the club. His English improved quickly, and his accent sounded better and better. Also, he helped American students improve their Spanish skills. Then one day, an American girl named Emily walked into the club. She planned to travel to Spain and was interested in practicing Spanish with Pablo. Pablo and Emily practiced speaking together. and corrected each other's mistakes. Pablo liked Emily, and he always looked forward to seeing her at the club. She seemed interested in him too, so he decided to ask her out. She agreed. They dated for a while, and then he proposed. She accepted the proposal, and they soon got married. Pablo stopped attending the language club, achieved all of his English goals, and they lived happily ever after.